How you doing, folks? My name's Jesse. Vlog entry number 30, June 15th. What have I been working on? Well, I told you last week because I'm shooting these videos at the same time. I'm struggling with who I am and where I am musically. I'm struggling with my limitations, and I'm just trying to get over some pretty bad feelings right now about it, which will happen. It's just a matter of time. But I needed an opportunity. I'm trying to, my schedule is moving faster than my ability to play. And I wanted to talk about a recent acquisition, Peavey Wolfgang. Um, who didn't love Eddie? Really? Who didn't? Um, and losing Ed, I almost was on the same level for me, in terms of celebrity losses like Robin Williams. Somebody whose work I studied extensively and whose genius I marveled at, and who didn't love him, right? Um, and now is no better time to pick up a Wolfgang of any sort. I think there are a myriad of choices available to the middle-aged guy who remembers the '80s and the '90s and the aughts. And so I told you I've been selling gear, and I was sitting on some money, and I was like, I want something different. I've got Les Pauls. I tend to gravitate towards humbucking guitars. I want something different. I like hard rock, but I don't like Floyd's anymore. I don't know if I ever liked Floyd's. I liked what they could do, but Floyd was just something. You realize how much time it took to get it to do something musical, and you're just like, I'm good. Setting him up is a pain. So I said, I want to get a Wolfie. I want to get a Wolfie with a carved top. I want to get a Wolfie with a stop bar tailpiece. And so I did. Um, Now Wolfies, Peavey Wolfies, if you look online at Guitar Center, the stop bar, they're averaging about 2 grand and above, 2 grand and above, and that's still a lot of money for me. So, I found this one on Reverb, and it was 1,500, and like, I'm glad I got it, but I remember Uncle Larry saying one time, I always pay retail. And I think this guitar is a good example of why sometimes it's probably better to pay the full price. The guitar it was not in pristine condition. Um, Looking at it, it looked like there were a lot of finish issues. There was a crack down the middle here where the plastic, it's a plastic finished top, it's not just paint. And that came up. That was splitting. There was tons of splits up here. And I should have asked myself why. I should have asked myself why did it split? And I didn't ask myself. I just went, oh, that's superficial surface area stuff. That's fine. I'm not looking for a case queen or anything like that. But I should have asked questions. Because there were other tells in the description. The one description was truss rod probably needs to be adjusted. I'm going to leave that up to the buyer. Now, what that meant was this truss rod is pretty damn tight, and I'm going to leave breaking it to somebody else. because the action was super high on it. The bridge was pretty low. So I said, well, let me adjust the truss rod because the action, like it was reasonably unplayable. And when I cranked on that truss rod, I actually bent the Allen wrench I used to do it. I was like, oh man, what did I walk into? But it worked. Um, I gave the fingerboard a light fret dressing because it turns out 15-inch radius is the one radius I don't have. I have 16 and I have 14, but I don't have 15. So I used the fret leveler, just real light, and polished the frets up. Every screw on the back of this guitar is rusted when you unscrew it. And the pots are the rustiest damn pots I've ever seen in my life. And this guitar is from about 2002, I think, thereabouts. Shouldn't be that rusty. Right here, the wood is raised. The wood grain is raised more so than anywhere else. So I think this guitar had water damage. I think it sat somewhere where it was damp, and then it got hot, and it split. So a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, it is a maple top. It is a basswood body on a maple top. This model. All right. I don't think this is real flame. I think this is photo flame. You can see, like, there's not a, like, you can see the maple underneath when it split, and I didn't see any of this flame, right? When you tilt it, you don't get that 3D effect. So I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Now this is real bird's eye, I'm pretty sure. But I was like, wow, that's a little disappointing. So I was like, well, it's not pristine, and because it's not pristine, I can work on it, and I don't think I'm gonna affect the value of it. So I discovered this plastic is really brittle because I chipped off a corner of it when I was trying to pull it up a little bit. So you'll see in the video, I took the neck off, took the pickups, moved the pickups out as far as I could. The pickups are connected up here at the switch, and so taking the pickups out completely would have been a real super big hassle. So I got a heat gun. I heated up this pretty good. I put some real thin CV glue in, and I got some wax paper, and I clamped it down. And it's not flawless, but it's not sticking up anymore. And the same thing was happening all over the headstock. So I ended up gluing and clamping each one individually. And I wasn't as clean with it, so I ended up having to sand off. I got some 2500 grit sandpaper. I used acetone to try and get the super glue off. And that sort of worked, but then I was worried I was taking the finish off. So, I got some 2500 grit sandpaper, sanded off the excess super glue, and then I buffed it up. It's not flawless, but it's better than it was. So, coming to grips with this, the output on these pickups is ridiculously high. The highest I've ever played. And I said, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to be using this for. I know I'm probably not going to be playing a lot of metal. I'm kind of aged out of that group. I mean, I love the energy of metal, but I can't be that angry that long. So, a couple of things I wanted to do. I put the treble bleed circuit with the variable resistor on the volume. So, which I think really helped it. The other thing I did, um, the tone pot, it was either nothing or mud, and so I put in the Bill and Becky Lawrence Q filter, the Wild Audio Q filter. Just trying to give it some ability to be more than what it is. And of course, this thing, you know, it shines when you hit it. Something like that. Got to play, you know, every half an Eddie lick, you know. I'm unhappy with my playing right now. But it does that trick really well. So it's interesting. Like, guitars do have personalities, I believe that. Some guitar personalities are really open and really, hi, this is me, this is all the stuff I can do. And some guitar personalities, you kind of have to dig a little bit. And I'm kind of surprised that I feel like I have to dig for this guitar's personality. You know? Um, I'm not as freaked out by the small neck as I thought I was going to be. Uh, it is a bit of an adjustment. I notice I'm getting arthritis in this finger. And I don't know if playing this guitar is better or worse. But it's cool in that, like, I feel like I could play this guitar in my 60s and not feel like an idiot. You know? Like, God bless Steel Panther. God bless Steel Panther can still pull it off. But not everybody can be Satchel Paige. Playing, you know, the Jacksons and the Charvels. I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at. And maybe I'm silly for feeling that way, but I'm curious to see how this plays out when I take it to band practice. How well does it how well does it play with others? So, um, and I might shoot this out. My buddy's got a an EVH special with the Floyd. Um, I've seen other videos and they all look kind of the same, but I'd be interested to see my buddy's how he feels about this guitar and what his thoughts would be. Let me know if you've had one of these. Let me know if you've had any issues with the neck on it. Like, these necks are supposed to have carbon rods in them, so I'm a little concerned about how the truss rod. I mean, it worked, and in fact, I had to, as I was setting it up, eventually I had to loosen it just a smidge, and it plays great right now. But I'm curious, like, what's going to happen 10 years from now. Of course, maybe I shouldn't worry about that at all. Anyway, let me know what you think. My name's Jesse, and I'll talk to you later.